Y'all, I'm back with another video. Again, I apologize for how late this is, but as I keep telling y'all, I am in school, okay? I'm trying to get my master's, so I'm so sorry that these reviews aren't up exactly when they need to be. Also, I am probably done for the rest of the season until something, so I'm letting y'all know right now, until something like dramatic happens, I'm done for the rest of the season talking about Jessica and Austin. No shade against them, but they're like super, super regular. They're cute together. I like them, but they don't really give me anything to work with as far as to talk about. So going forward, unless something major happens with Jessica and Austin, I'm not talking about them anymore. Okay, and then this episode in particular, I'm not going to talk about Katie and Derek because nothing super important really happened. Nothing super, super, super really important happened with them. We're going to stick to the main people that, you know, we've been going back and forth with. So, we are gonna start off with, we're gonna do Zach and Mindy first, okay? Even though normally I end with them, we're gonna do Zach and Mindy first. So the night after everything, you know, after the little couples night or whatever, you know, we had ended the episode with Zach and Mindy having a nice little time together in the apartment. You know, I don't know why she expected this because I fucking didn't, but she was upset because he didn't stay the night and he left. I did not expect that man to stay the night at all. I think that man came on this show for a reason and he knows what game he has to play and he's just gonna play. I did not expect him to stay. So Mindy, that already shows you. I mean, I can't get mad at her for having hope, but girl, it's false hope at this point. Wasn't gonna happen. So yeah, so she was pissed off about that. When they had the cooking class together, because all of the couples except Brandon and Taylor was together at the cooking class, the couples asked them, you know, how they felt about, oh shit, sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so when they were having the cooking class, after they were done cooking and all of the couples were sitting down together, the question went around about how was it like living with each other. And so, you know, they had asked, you know, Mindy and Zach about it, and, you know, and Zach and Mindy, like, you know, he still didn't move in. And they asked Mindy, you know, how she felt about it. And, you know, she was honest and said, you know, she felt, you know, she felt sad about it, and, you know, she didn't really know how to feel in general. Yeah, so, you know, she just brought in how uncomfortable she was pretty much. And then Derek had came in like in the middle of there and talked about how, like, doing this whole show, it's about pretty much doing stuff that makes you awkward. And he said, so yeah, so when me and her, you know, moved in with each other, of course it's awkward, but that's the whole point. Like, that's the whole point of this thing. And I don't really get the point of, there's no point of doing it if you're not gonna try to push through it. Which was pretty much, he subtly shot the fuck out of Zach, pretty much, about what he was saying. Because then they asked Derek about it, and, you know, Derek is like, I'm sorry. Derek was, you know, just saying, talking in circles again, saying how he didn't want to force something that wasn't uncomfortable, blase, 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 blah. Don't really give a fuck. So then we get to the therapy session that is pretty much with Zach and Mindy. And to be quite honest, Dr. Pepper is just telling Zach, you need to move in. That's just pretty much what it gets down to. You're half doing this experiment, and it's not fair that, pretty much, she said what we all saying. It's not fair that you're putting Mindy through this. Mindy's giving her all, and you are not, and that's complete trash. You need to cut the shit and move in. And he's like, oh, well, I will heavily think about it. Get the fuck out of here. Just get him off the show. Like Mindy said, like, if you really don't want to do this, then please just be honest and just say that, because this is dumb and you're making her look dumb. But let's get to the preview for next week in regards to Zach and Mindy. So they go out to dinner, and he's pretty much, and it seems like he's accusing her of something, like, oh, you know what it is that I'm talking about, and she don't get it. And then you hear her say in another scene, talking to him somewhere else, like, I think back at the house, like, okay, so pretty much I feel some type of way that you was having a whole side friendship with one of my friends. Zach, you. And then you also see her talking to a friend, like, on the phone, and the phone's like, oh, I'm so sorry. So you wasn't too busy to go and try to talk to her friend and befriend her friend, but you was too busy to try to get to know Mindy more. I'm gonna wait for the rest of that to play out because I don't know exactly what happened, but it just sounds really trash and it sounds really fucking fishy. Whoever that quote unquote friend is, that's not your friend. And if I would have found something like that out, if it's gonna play out the way I think it is, oh, you see how Brandon, like the bad light skinned bitch he is, packed his shit and left? That's what I would have did. That's what I would have did. It would have been nobody in that damn apartment no more. So that's Zach and Mindy. Then we're gonna go on to Mike and Mika. So okay. So they're kind of talking at the table. Now I came in, I was fast forwarding through this whole thing. Not through the whole thing, but through like a lot of it. And so like especially like through the commercials and all that other stuff. So when I had got to the first scene of Mike and Mika, I was like a little bit already into the conversation, didn't feel like backing it up. Don't really care. So but pretty much he was upset. Okay, and Mika was asking him what is it that he needs from her, for him to feel more comfortable. This is before they actually went to the cooking class. And he says, I need you to be more vulnerable. And I am vulnerable. That's how she answered. I am vulnerable. Mika, again, with your attitude, like, okay, let me keep going. And he was pretty much saying he needed more communication and that, like she's not being vulnerable at all. And then, she was like, well, I'm asking you what it is that I need. And then he started to explain it to her. And she was like, well, that's not what vulnerable means to me. But okay, maybe not to you, but that's what it means to him. You're asking him what it is that he needs from you. And then he's telling you. And then you're still telling him, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's not what that is. Hold on. Am I almost done? Okay, and then pretty much it's like a whole lot of tension, and he pretty much completely shuts down and just pretty much walks out the damn door. Which I'm about to get on you for a second on Michael on that. But Mika, my thing is, it seems like your version of vulnerable is just being completely it's just showing your emotions. But a lot of times your emotions is very angry. You're very angry, and I can understand. I'm not trying to put the black stereotype of the black woman being angry. I am not. But you have been very hostile towards this man since we have even started. And that conversation alone shows part of the issue. He tried to tell you his definition of vulnerable, and you off top snapped and said, well, that don't make any sense. And then he's told you, I don't feel like you are vulnerable. And the first thing you say is, what are you talking about? Why do you have to answer like that? You got to understand, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I think maybe that's the biggest lesson for Mika. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. I don't think that you're a bad person. I don't think you're a mean-spirited person at all. You seem like you're a very nice person. But at the same time, you do seem like you yourself, you do have a certain wall up against him, which I'm not going to blame you because he's a stranger. But you say that about him, but that's true about yourself too. Michael, on the other hand. Michael, you act like a child, to be quite honest. Like, I can't deal with somebody who does that either. If you're going to get up instead of, like, just having a conversation and completely walk out and then not tell me nothing at all, that's an entire issue because we're supposed to be communicating, talking. If you don't like what it is that I'm saying, like she said, you could be like, you know what, just give me a second. You know what? Just get up and go in the other room or something. That house look like it's big enough. It look like it got 2 bedrooms. Go in the other room for a second. Get yourself together. Get your chakras. And then come back in the room and say what you got to say. But you do not walk out. You don't walk out, Michael. That's messed up. But anyway, he comes back. They sit down. They talk. And, she explained that she don't like him walking out. He explained, again about, how he feels about her. And he feels uncomfortable in the marriage. But she explained eloquently again why she didn't think that walking out was the best thing for the marriage. See, Mika, that's how you should have communicated the first time. But you know what? That's okay. We are all human. The whole thing I like about Mike and Mika in particular, although they go through it a lot. Sorry, it frustrates the hell out of me that when I'm not doing a video, nobody calls me. But the minute that I start recording, everybody and their mom want to call me about absolutely nothing. It pisses me off. But anyway, okay. So what I was saying is that the thing I like about Mike and Mika the most is the fact that regardless, after the trip from Panama, or, they make it a point to communicate with one another. Now, somebody might have a little bit more of an attitude than the next person, but it is still communicating. they are, regardless of them going off, they are both able to sit down and speak to each other, and nobody is just completely giving up. So I could say more than anything, that's what I really, really, really like about them two together. But then it doesn't end there, unfortunately. So they go to the cooking class. They're a little bit awkward because, like I said, it was right after the fight, but it is what it is. So then later in the episode, you see Mika, she's going to meet up with Mike at a restaurant. Now, Mika says that Michael told her that he was a yoga instructor and that, or a yoga teacher, and that he wanted her to come, I guess, like that. I don't know if he wanted her to come. I don't know. I can't remember. But she was going to come to one of his classes or something like that. And then when she got there and she asked them, they said that the only Michael that they ever heard of was a guy who cleans. And so then they pretty much couldn't do it because there wasn't any money or something like that. And so she wanted to have the conversation about, like, why did you lie to me or whatever. And he just kind of like completely, I think he like shut down, or maybe he left. So here's my thing. He says that he did tell the truth, that he really was a yoga instructor. He explains that later. I'll talk about that in a minute. That he did tell the truth, but she didn't even give him the opportunity, that she just kind of like, you know, went off on him or whatever and said, oh, we need to have this conversation. But he said, I'm not going to try to have this conversation with you if you are going to be like this. So why would I even want to talk to you about anything? And again, he stressed about how he was uncomfortable, and, you know, but Mika talked about, again, you know, pretty much how he's a liar, and she doesn't understand why he lies so much. Now, later on, I might as well just say it now. Later on, when they have the therapy session with Dr. Pepper, he says that what happened was that he used to, he doesn't do it all the time. He does it sometimes. He hosts class here and there. And before the show started, he had like dropped down to like less classes or something like that. And then, by the time he came back, there was like a new switch of like management. So the person that she talked to was misinformed and didn't really know who he was. This is the thing about Michael that boggles me a little bit, that bothers me. Like, it sounds like a lie, but it's also believable at the same time. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I do know plenty of people who, I don't know about yoga instructors because I don't know yoga, but I do know people, like, for instance, like who taught like dance classes, you know, or something like that, but they don't do it like every single day. They do it like when they can or when they want to. So they'll reach out to, let's say, like the Millennium Dance Complex or whatever, and call them up and see if they got some empty available times, and then they'll go. But just because you go and one person doesn't know you, that doesn't mean that you've never taught a class there before. Maybe he was just putting 10 on 20 on 10 about how much involved he was as the instructor. Maybe that's what it was, but it still sounds like a lie. I can see why she thinks you're lying, because it sounds like a lie. It does. But that's why people don't want to tell you the truth, because, you know, people tell you the truth and it really will still sound like a lie. So I don't really know who to believe, but that's neither here nor there. To me, that's neither here nor there. I think more than anything, Michael's problem is that he's insecure. That's what it is. He's insecure, and he doesn't want to be judged too harshly, whether it's by her. I don't think it's just like the cameras. I really don't. At first, I thought, because she even said, like, maybe in one of the first episodes, oh, well, I think you just want to look like a good guy to everybody else out there in the world. I don't think it's just everybody else. I think it's people, period. I think he don't want to look bad in front of you. I think he don't want to look bad in front of the world. I just think he's a very insecure guy. When they went to therapy, you know, he kind of talked about, you know, how it's kind of like tied into him being adopted. And I could see some people trying to say, oh, that's a scapegoat. But if you've been to therapy, it probably does have a lot to do with that. It really probably does. The fear of being rejected, you know, that because he said, I feel like I can't be my authentic self, because he thinks if he does, that she's not going to want him, that nobody's going to like him. Because he does seem low-key like a little bit of like a geek, a little bit of a nerdy kind of guy. And, this is not me excusing anything that he did. I'm just trying to like think about it from a deeper perspective. So So yes, I just think that he's really insecure. But again, they was communicating and she was receptive, he was receptive, and they're gonna try. Everybody's gonna try. So that is Mike and Mika. Okay. And then finally, oh, they did have a little round at the end where they kind of was honest with each other about the job and everything else in total. Because he did say that he lied before. He said that he lied to her a lot. So like I said, you gotta fucking fix that. You can't be a liar. Like, get that together. Finally, we have, in the words of oh my gosh, what is his mind? Scattered Brains, Brayler. Shout out to him. All right, so I'm trying to think. Where are we at with these two? Where are we at? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my stuff together. Okay, so Taylor meets up with her friends or whatever. The one guy, little buff guy that was there, and then like little white girl or whatever. And you know, she's talking to them about the whole situation that happened, and you know how he left and all this other stuff. And again, Taylor doesn't see anything wrong that she did. She doesn't see what the issue is. And Taylor's other point is, okay, even if that was an issue for you, why would you just leave versus you trying to talk to me about it and tell me that it was an issue? You didn't even tell me it was an issue. You just left. You never even communicated that to me, which that is a good point. But at the same time, the fact that you don't understand what's wrong with it, like, that's mind-boggling to me. Like, I think that you have to know that it's wrong. You just don't care. Now, those are two completely different things. To say, I don't care versus it wasn't wrong, those are two completely different things. I think you know that you're wrong, but you just don't give a fuck. And that's fine. That's your business. But, you know, her friends are kind of like hyping her up. I mean, I don't want to say as they should be, because you should be honest with your friend. And if I was her friend, I would be honest and say that. Now, the guy friend was like, oh, well, I laughed. Well, yeah, I think you laughed because I think you kind of... Is that her friend? Because if that's her friend, I believe so. I think he kind of sort of won her, because when they had that confessional, he was kind of going on and on about like how she's this and how she's that. He did say that he was going to break her to a partner with single men, but I think if it really got down to it, he would want her. Not to say he's trying to cock block or anything, but I just kind of peeped that. You know, so yeah, they just kind of listened to her and said, you know, that she needed to just kind of do her and this, that, and the third. Okay, so then we have the therapy session. So they pretty much both started off by being childish as hell, because Dr. Pepper is like, okay, well, you know, you say how it is that you feel. Nah, I ain't saying it. She better say it. Oh, well, no, I'm not saying it. He better say it. Y'all already being childish as hell. This is how I knew this wasn't going to go nowhere, because nobody even came into the situation ready to take accountability. What I got in my notes is that she's not taking responsibility. She's not taking responsibility at all. She kept saying pretty much how, you know, she didn't really see the big deal about it and this, that, and the third. And then Brandon is not really taking accountability. He kind of is, but he kind of not at the same time for the whole Panama thing. He felt like she should just let it go. However, comma, you did disrespect the fuck out of her, and you just had met her. So you have to understand that y'all are now building off of foundation. Y'all foundation is now disrespect. Like, even after what she did, y'all foundation is now disrespect. So guess what? This is never gonna last. This is never gonna last, because you started off disrespect to her, and then because of that, she disrespected you. So now the whole relationship is just built off of disrespect, and the foundation is gonna crumble, and it's just dumb at the end of the day. But Brandon, well, I would also want to point out the fact that Dr. Pepper brought it up. You know, she told Taylor that you're wrong for that. You are absolutely wrong for that. And then, you know, Brandon brought up, you know, how the fact that he don't really feel like she's here for the right reasons. She feel like he's here for like the cameras and to be on a reality show, and how, you know, he don't know she's probably cheating. And she got offended. She was like, cheating? Like, what are you talking about? He said, well, at first I got offended too. It's like, don't you say she cheated? But then he said, well, I mean, if you out here telling people that you're single, then what are you doing when you're not around me? That's a good point. And so, yeah, so they're kind of like doing like a little bit back and forth for that. And, you know, Dr. Pepper pretty much called Taylor out to tell her that she was wrong about that. And Taylor again said, I don't see what I did wrong. And she was like, well, are you going to apologize to him for what you said? She was like, pretty much she said, no, I'm not going to apologize. She said, if you tell me that I was wrong and he told me that I'm wrong, cool. But at the same time, I'm not going to apologize for something that I truly don't feel like I was wrong for. Now, on one hand, Taylor, you are completely messed up, and this is I won't say this is the real reason why you're married, but this is the tip of straw for your marriage if y'all even get back together. Because it is something wrong with the fact that you don't find that wrong. But even if you don't find it wrong, you should still apologize because of how it made him feel. Point blank, period. Whether you're wrong or not. However, on the other hand, you really shouldn't apologize if you don't mean it. And as fucked up as that seems, I kind of respect it. Brandon did say he wouldn't accept an apology because it wouldn't seem genuine. And she didn't give an apology because it wouldn't have been genuine. So it's like, on one hand, girl, if that's your husband and you want to make it work, you need to apologize. But at the same time, can I really get mad at somebody who's being honest? Like, if I don't, this apology is going to be fake. Hey, tipsy-turvy. I still think that she's completely wrong for what she did, and I think she was wrong for how she handled it in this session. After that, Brandon said that, he pretty much was done and that he didn't care anymore. And, he got up. And again, he was low-key kind of being disrespectful to production because somebody said something. He said, don't listen to her. See, that's the little shit that I peeped, Brandon, that you probably was doing when the cameras wasn't around to her. And that's the only reason why, although Taylor is completely, I'm talking about, she's utterly wrong. In this situation, she's wrong. She's wrong. She's wrong for the video. She's wrong for what she said. She's wrong for not even feeling bad. And I normally don't say that. But she's wrong for not thinking that that's an issue. And she's wrong for how she handled this therapy session. However, comment shout out to Kid Fury or whoever made that up. But, Brandon, like I said, is kind of passive aggressive, but he's actually very aggressive at the same time. And the way that you treat production, like I said, just that little small clip alone kind of gives me a little bit of an insight on how you probably treat that girl when nobody's around. And that's why she probably say half the stuff that she say about you, because of how you treat her when nobody else is around. I could only imagine. So then, Brandon goes and he meets up with, one of his friends, one of his really well-spoken friends, the one that I like a lot. And, he's talking to him about what happened. And, he shows him how after the session, how Taylor has sent him this really long thread or whatever, or a message or whatever, kind of pretty much cursing him out or whatever. And, I think Brandon is probably try to go back and, probably try to talk to her. I think so. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I gotta talk about here? Nah, only thing I got in my notes that I ain't say is the fact that when he had first got up and left, I was really hoping that he's going, because again, as wrong as Taylor is, Brandon don't need to be on television because he really don't want to be. And I don't want to see anybody who really truly don't want to be on television, because all you're going to do is act like a little baby. And I don't have time to be feeling sympathetic for a grown-ass man who signed up to be on a reality show. I don't have time for sympathy for shit like that. And like Dr. Pepper said when she sat there in front of them too, it's sad for real that y'all do this, because there's somebody who really wanted to be in y'all seat. Now, I don't really know how true that is. But the point of the matter is, y'all are in here bullshitting. Both of y'all is bullshitting. And y'all both wrong. On the whole entire relationship. The whole month, y'all are both wrong. Taylor, fucking apologize to that man. And I can't believe I'm really sticking up for him, but you need to apologize. That was dead ass wrong. And I didn't even know until I was watching other people reviews that you put gay in there. And that's what they blurbed out, because I was wondering what they blurbed out. Yes, is Brandon a little bit more feminine and effeminate than the next guy or the average guy you're probably used to dealing with? Yes. But to call that man gay when you don't know that to be true, that really is a low blow. And if anything, I bet you that's probably what really made him mad. You don't do that. Y'all get in your comments, tell me what y'all think. I'm out. I mean, get in my comments. Tell me what y'all think.